What if silence isn't the absence of communication, but one of the loudest ways I ever speak? I used to think silence meant nothing was happening. No words, then no message, no signal. But silence isn't empty. It's just quiet. And quiet tends to amplify whatever's already there. I've been on both sides of it. I've stayed quiet because I didn't want to make things worse. Because I needed a second. Because I knew if I spoke too fast, it wouldn't come out right. Because holding my tongue felt safer than opening my mouth. And I've also sat inside someone else's silence. Sitting there, waiting, feeling that space stretch. For a long time, I thought those were completely different situations. Now, I think they're usually the same moment, just lived from opposite sides. When someone goes quiet around me, that silence doesn't stay neutral for long. I feel it. We all do. Not on purpose, automatically. If I'm insecure, I hear rejection. If I'm already carrying shame, I hear judgment. If I'm unsure where I stand, I hear distance. The silence itself isn't saying any of that, but it gives my own mind room to start talking. And once it starts talking, it sounds pretty convincing. On the other side, I know what it's like to be the one holding the silence. I've gone quiet to keep things from escalating, to cool something down, to protect a relationship instead of lighting it on fire. From the outside, that can look like withdrawal. From the inside, it usually feels like effort. There's tension there. Restraint, a lot going on that never actually gets said. So the same silence can hold two completely different realities at once. One person feels shut out. The other feels like they're holding things together. Neither one is fake. They're just not being shared. Silence also changes depending on who it's coming from. A partner's silence feels personal. A parent's silence feels judgmental. A friend's silence feels distancing. A boss's silence feels threatening. Same behavior, very different weight. That's why silence is powerful. And why it's risky. Because silence is information, whether I mean it to be or not. There have been times when silence was exactly what I needed. To slow down, to not say something I couldn't take back. And there have been times I had to admit that my silence was doing the talking for me. Sending messages I didn't even realize I was sending. Messages I couldn't control once they landed. I've also had to face how uncomfortable silence makes me when I'm on the other side of it. How fast I want to fill it, fix it, explain it away. Not because something is necessarily wrong, but because uncertainty is hard to sit with. So I'm learning not to label silence as good or bad, helpful or harmful. I'm trying to notice what it's doing, what it's amplifying, what it reveals about me in that moment, which leaves me with a better question than the one I started with. Am I using silence on purpose, or letting it speak for me in ways I don't actually mean? And when someone else goes quiet, am I listening to what they're saying, or just listening to my own fear fill the gap?